After being hit by a car on his motorcycle, Anthony feared his life was ended. But his afterlife experience was just the beginning. After seeing the future and meeting the divine, Anthony must choose life or death and change his fate forever. Welcome to Your True Being, where we study near-death experiences and give unique insights on life and death. We aim to illuminate these important stories, expand your perspective of life, and educate our audience. We welcome you to this adventure, whether you're new or returning. To see our latest stuff, subscribe to our channel if you like us. Remember to like our content to spread it. Simply relax and prepare to be carried to the brink of life and beyond. Move on to the story. A car hit me when I was riding a motorcycle without a helmet. After impact, I flew 76 feet, saw many deceased relatives, saw Jesus, and was given the capacity to glimpse several years into the future to help me decide whether to return. My name is Anthony, and I just had the gruesomest experience of my life. I was killed in a motorbike accident, crossed over, visited my deceased family members, met Jesus, saw heaven, and was allowed to return home. This is what happened and how I was forced to return to this world. I can best explain my passing over by asking whether you've ever been hit in the head and seen a bright blue light. A bright blue light you see after being hit in the nose or eyes is the road to heaven. I felt immense heat and saw the blue light everywhere when the automobile hit me without warning. My entire body aged and heated up. The light's route became steps. Instead of floating, I was standing on a single step that matched the blue light. One after another followed me as I neared. After climbing the steps, I couldn't go higher. Light stopped making new stairs when I was 10 to 15 feet from the summit. I halted and raised my head. A little white stone footbridge with a wrought iron and dark oak handrail caught my eye. To the left of the bridge, I looked. My grandmother, 2 sisters, father, and uncle were there. The bridge was vacant on the right and missing in the middle. Trying to talk to my family, they seemed either unable or unwilling to hear me. Since they were smiling and looked so serene, I knew they were staring through me at something they liked and admired. It was beautiful behind and above me. No clouds, trees, dirt, or grass. Just pure white. Ever seen? It nearly shone. Beyond the bridge was a large white stone building with little square windows. Since I'm back and have time to think about it, I think it was heaven. My father initially spoke to me. He exclaimed, "Anthony, how did you get up here?" I said, "I don't know, Anthony." He asked, "You know that jacket of mine?" I agreed. "You weren't meant for that. I assume your brother owns it." "What if that jacket had been on when you fell?" I doubted. "Accident." Since nothing had happened, I had no idea what he was talking about. My father showed me my leather jacket from the vehicle crash. "Everything was cut up," he said. His meaning became clear. Had I been wearing his jacket, it would have been damaged too. "Then where would your brother have been?" My father questioned, knowing my thoughts. I wondered without my father's blazer, which meant so much to them. Again, my father instructed me to return the jacket to my brother immediately because it wasn't for me. I agree, Dad. "I'll return it to him ASAP," I said. When I turned to my sisters, a white opalescent brilliance surrounded everyone. Bright and pure, it seemed like the kindest energy. They then saw a pure gold shadow between the white shadow light and themselves. All left me dumbfounded. Words can't describe my fantastic sensation. They seemed lucky, and I envied them. I then reached up to my grandma between the golden splendor and pure light to pull her hair back. I wondered what was there. I grabbed her hair, but she repelled me. Curious, I inquired, "Gram, what's up?" "I'm sorry. I miss you." I kept trying, but she kept taking my hand away and saying I shouldn't stare at that light. I was confused. I then spoke with Norma, Audrey, Grammy, and Uncle Carl. Everyone said, "Anthony, your time is not now. You must turn. Many things to live for. Just return. It's not your time. It aches so badly." "Not going back," I said. "In addition, I have no idea how to return." A brilliant halogen flashlight-like beam plummeted to my right. Jesus floated on the beam at that moment. He swiftly descended to me when I looked up to find the light. He looked me in the eye and asked, "So, Anthony, how are you going to proceed?" I asked Jesus, "You mean I have a choice?" "You do, of course. Jesus said. You were seriously injured in an accident. Staying up here wouldn't make you accountable. What will happen to my loved ones down there? I puzzled why Jesus silently told me to look down after turning me around and touching my shoulder. I saw my loved ones standing together, depressed and lost. Jesus showed me what my death would mean for my loved ones when I glanced down. He'd opened them so I could see their hearts. I saw my mother Grace, sisters Christy and Diana, brothers Darren and Bobby, and wife Anne. Their hearts were cracking and spilling. I saw my stepchildren Nicholas and Danielle. Jesus said, "Without you, life will be like this." I couldn't stop feeling sad after seeing my mother. My precious baby, she kept asking why. Then I looked at Anne. She never left the house, stopped eating, smoked more, and, most importantly, never went out. Danielle caught my eye. At 20, no one proposed to her as she prepared to walk down the aisle. She cried. She wanted a traditional wedding and would have done everything for me to see her beauty and pride. As a man's man, she knew I would have approved of her spouse. I knew I had to return, so the choice was easy. Pauline, my wife, my mother, my in-laws, my siblings, and my senior neighbors began praying for me. They seemed there as I heard their prayers and thoughts. I turned around after hearing a prayer to see who said it. Once I identified it, one step would disappear, and I would descend one. I said, I would like to go back to Jesus. It's not your time, Jesus responded, satisfying me that I chose well. I have greater and better things in store for you. I wondered, pain, restoration. Can I be me again? Jesus may have sensed my thoughts when he responded. No one would do what you did and return empty-handed. Please return with something. He then took my right hand, placed his left hand there, and cradled my head. All of my anguish went, and when he put his left palm behind my head, my feet rose up to about a 45 degrees angle, smooth as an escalator. We descended to straight over Maine Medical Center. We descended through the roof into the operating room where my doctor was operating on my severely damaged skull and brain like ghosts. Jesus then softly brought my spirit back to my body. I can only remember that the next film in our series is essential if you want more life-changing content that will inspire and reflect. This video will deepen your self-discovery and enlightenment. Definitely watch it.